Paul Manafort told his son-in-law to lie that his Soho apartment was being lived in and was not on Airbnb as part of mortgage fraud, prosecutors reveal, as they get rare apology from judge for browbeating. Paul Manafort told his son-in-law to lie about living in a plush Manhattan loft he was renting out on Airbnb so he could con a bank into giving him a $3.4 million loan, prosecutors revealed Thursday. The development came as the prosecution scored a rare victory over Judge T.S. Ellis III, who admitted he was wrong to reprimand them on Wednesday in one of the browbeatings which have become a hallmark of the trial. He told the jury, "Put aside these criticisms. I was probably wrong." After Robert Mueller's prosecutors filed a formal complaint about the intervention, the prosecutors at the former Trump campaign chairman's fraud trial disclosed an email on Thursday which he sent his then son-in-law Jeff Yohai warning him that an independent appraiser wanted confirmation the condo at 29 Howard Street was a residence. "Remember, he believes that you and Jessica are living there. Let me know when you have arranged it," Manafort wrote in January 2016, referring to his daughter Jessica, who was married to Yohai at the time. The alleged deception meant Manafort, 69, was able to secure a mortgage refinancing loan from the Citizens Bank that was more than 3 times the maximum $1 million offered on rental properties. Peggy Michelli, vice president underwriting manager at Citizens Bank, told the federal court jury in Alexandria, Virginia, that the bank's rules are far stricter when people try to get refinancing loans on investment properties. The maximum loan on rentals is capped at $1 million, less than a third of the $3.40 Manafort was able to secure by allegedly claiming the Howard Street pad was a second home for him and his wife. "It's a higher risk loan because you are not living there," she said. The bank's policy is they limit the loan amount. They limit it to $1 million. In another email to a colleague disclosed in today's proceedings, Michelli had revealed doubts about Manafort's funds, writing, "The business did not have the liquidity to dispense these," before signing off with a sad face emoji. However, she told the court she eventually signed off on the application after receiving a document from the veteran lobbyist's accountant stating that a $1.5 million loan from Pronova Holdings Limited had been forgiven. Michelli said she would have asked for more evidence, however, if she knew that the entity known as Pronova was actually controlled by Manafort himself. Also giving evidence Thursday was Darren Evanson, head of customer experience at Airbnb, who said the Howard Street condo was listed as available for rent on the site from January 2015 through April 2016. The property was advertised as amazing full-floor loft in Soho with radiant heated floors, boasting of its upscale location with luxury shopping on your doorstep. 5 guests paid as much as $16,325 to stay there for 21 nights in June 2015. In cross-examination, defense attorney Jane Inavati suggested that the luxurious pad could still be a primary or second residence regardless of whether it was listed on Airbnb. Evanson agreed that 73% of the properties listed for rent on the site are the host's main homes. Nanavati also asked if the Swank property was rented for just 5 days in 2016 and 77 days in 2015, but Evanson said he didn't have the figures available. Jurors heard Manafort applied for a second loan with Citizens Bank about a month after securing his $3.4 million refinancing deal, but the new application was turned down. Loan officer assistant Taryn Rodriguez said he asked for a $5.5 million construction loan on the Union Street property in Brooklyn. The paperwork from the previous application listed it as mortgage-free, but when Rodriguez searched New York SECRA's public property records database, she noticed there was a mortgage on the home. "I don't remember the exact amount, but it was in the millions," she told the court, revealing that the new loan application was subsequently rejected. The court heard, however, that Manafort was able to secure a second $1 million loan in May 2016 from the Bank of California. Vice President Gary Safarian said Manafort initially asked for a $5 million, but they offered him a fifth of that when they discovered that a $25 million property in Bridgehampton, New York that he initially claimed was his, in fact belonged to his wife Kathleen. Safarian told the court that Manafort also failed to disclose the $3.4 million loan he had just secured from Citizens Bank. Prosecuting attorney Uzo Asinai revealed two financial documents to the court side by side, one showing Manafort's DMP International business with a net income of $4.4 million and another with a net income of just $400,000. The court had already heard in the previous testimony of Rick Gates that Manafort allegedly ordered him to falsify these profit and loss accounts so the veteran lobbyist could claim enough income to secure the loan. Asked if Manafort would have qualified for the loan had he known the true figures, Safarian said, "I don't think so." Pressed by prosecutors on what he would have done had he suspected fraud, the banking executive added, "I would have stopped the application and spoken to my legal department." Melinda James, a mortgage loan assistant at Citizens Bank, told how Manafort misled her colleagues into agreeing a $3.4 million mortgage refinancing loan on a New York condo. James said that Manafort and his former assistant-turned-prosecution witness Rick Gates stated in emails and supplied documents stating it was a second home rather than an investment property. But when she looked up 29 Howard Street, Manhattan on New York real estate website StreetEasy, she saw that it was listed for rent, she told the court. Prosecutor Uzo Asinai said that a previous 2015 tax return confirmed Manafort had earned around $100,000 in rental income on the property in the trendy SoHo neighborhood. However, Manafort told Citizens Bank he and his wife Kathleen lived there as secondary residents alongside his daughter Jessica and now former son-in-law Yohai. James also testified that Manafort told her that another townhouse, 377 Union Street in Brooklyn's upscale Carroll Gardens, was mortgage-free and clear, and yet when she looked up insurance documents she found it was subject to a $5.3 million loan. The court heard that when she raised her concerns to her boss, Gates emailed her, copying in Manafort, insisting there was no mortgage, merely offers they hadn't taken up, and attached insurance documents reflecting the correct information. On March 4, 2016, Manafort attended the loan's closing in person, as the law requires, again affirming the false information despite wording on the contract warning it was a criminal offense to lie. Asked why the allegedly misleading was significant, James told the court it could have altered their decision to lend him money. The underwriter needs a clear picture of all the borrower's monthly debts to make a decision, she said. As the defense prepared to cross-examine, there was yet another touchy exchange between Judge Ellis and Asinai as he stood up to object to a defense motion introducing one of his own exhibits against him. "Sit down, Mr. Asinai. I'll get to you, I promise," barked the Princeton, Harvard and Oxford-educated judge. "It interrupts the speaker and it interrupts me." He softened his tone somewhat however and drew laughs from the public gallery when he added, "You need to be patient. So do I." Manafort is accused of failing to pay tax on $16.4 million he made working for a pro-Kremlin political party in Ukraine between 2006 and 2015. Prosecutors say he hid his massive earnings by having the money wired to foreign shell corporations and then sent to him as loans. They allege that Manafort funneled $30 million through a complex network of offshore bank accounts while splashing the undeclared cash on properties and luxury items, including a $21,000 watch and a custom $15,000 jacket made from an ostrich. The 69-year-old defendant is further accused of lying to banks about his income and debts to fraudulently secure $26 million worth of loans. Manafort was Trump's campaign chairman from March to August 2016 and was present at the now notorious Trump Tower meeting where Donald Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner met a Russian attorney who claimed to have incriminating information about Hillary Clinton. But while this is the first trial to emerge from Mueller's probe of Kremlin interference in the 2016 U.S. election, prosecutors haven't mentioned Russian meddling at all. Their case only briefly touched upon Manafort's Trump campaign ties when it was alleged that he recommended his banker, Steve Koch, for a top Pentagon job after securing a $16 million loan from him. The court heard that Manafort also tried to get tickets to Koch, founder and CEO of the Federal Savings Bank of Chicago, and his son tickets to Trump's inauguration. The prosecution's case will largely hinge on the credibility of his former business partner Gates, now the star witness for the prosecution who concluded his evidence Wednesday. Gates, 46, struck a plea deal in February, admitting 2 charges of conspiracy and lying to the FBI in return for telling prosecutors how the pair concealed the vast fortunes they made lobbying in Ukraine. In 10 hours of testimony earlier this week, Gates told the jury of 6 women and 6 men in forensic detail how the pair hid their income in foreign bank accounts to evade federal taxes. He also described how Manafort doctored a 2016 profit and loss statement to change a $638,000 loss to a multi-million-dollar profit which Gates then used to a bank to secure a loan. Manafort's attorneys responded by attacking married Gates as a thief and serial adulterer who embezzled money from Manafort's overseas accounts to lead a secret life. They told the court he stole millions over the years to fund his own lavish jet-setting lifestyle and secret mistresses, then committed tax and bank fraud under Manafort's name in order to cover up his own crimes. Under cross-examination, Gates admitted stealing several $100,000 from Manafort by submitting false expense reports and confessed to having an extramarital relationship. But he told the jury, "I regret it clearly and I'm taking responsibility for it." Gates was originally charged as a co-conspirator before agreeing to give testimony against his former friend in the hope of leniency. Under the terms of his deal, which can still be revoked if it's established he's lied on oath, Gates faces up to 6 years in prison after pleading guilty to 2 charges of conspiracy and lying to the FBI. Manafort however has been warned by Judge Ellis he faces the possibility of spending the rest of his life in prison if found guilty. He denies 5 counts of filing false income tax returns, 4 counts of failing to report foreign bank accounts, 4 counts of bank fraud and 5 counts of bank fraud conspiracy. The bank fraud charges carry a maximum sentence of 270 years, failing to report foreign bank accounts a possible 20 and filing false tax returns a further 15. The trial continues.